We got a question that says simplify the algebraic expression -2 and then parentheses x minus 3 plus 4 parentheses -2x plus 8.
-2x plus 8. Okay, I got you, and I just have to simplify it. All right. So I guess I will talk a little bit about the background of what this means when you see these parentheses like this. So I'm just going to show you an example over here of something else I made up, and then explain why this is, and then we'll simplify. So what this means is two groups of x and 3. So this, what's in the parentheses, is what is in the group, and this out here is how many groups. And let me explain that with just regular numbers. Okay, so let's say I had something like this, 2 times 3. So that's saying two groups of 3. So if I had 3, there's one group, and then 3 again, there's another group. I've got two groups of 3 simplifies to 6. Now, again, it's the same idea as what's in parentheses is in the group. What's outside of the parentheses is how many groups we have. So as you can kind of see with my little simple example here is that when I'm saying two groups of 3, it's 6. What that's really doing is multiplying. So when we're doing groups of something, we're multiplying. So over here, what I would be doing is two groups of x, so 2 times x, and then I would also be doing two groups of 3. This time we have groups of more than one thing, so 6. The shortcut to that is multiplying, because of course if you go to think of this and you try to think, well, okay, that means I have -2 groups of x minus 3. That's a little bit tougher to wrap your brain around. What does -2 groups mean? The other way you can think about it is the opposite of 2 groups. So if I did 2 groups of x and -3, then I would do the opposite of that. But I show you this over here on the left just to show you that when you're doing groups of something, you're really multiplying. And so we can apply this idea to something that is maybe a little bit more fuzzy and harder to picture when we are working with something like negative numbers. So that's what we do. When we see these parentheses, we multiply because we're doing groups. So the first thing I'm going to do whenever I simplify an expression is distribute. This is called the distributive property, by the way, over here, distributive property. And so that's the first thing that we're going to do is the distributive property. So multiply, so -2 times x is going to be -2x. And I've got -2 times -3, which gives me +6. So I'm just going to write +6. I'm going to do the same over here because I have some more distributive property. So I've got 4 times -2x. I get -8x. So I'm going to just write -8x. And then I have 4 times 8, which gives me 32. Now at this point I want to combine like terms, and because of time on the show I'm not going to really in-depth explain this, but what makes something like terms is if it has the same variables and powers. So if you look over here, I've got a -2x and I have a -8x. Those are the two terms I have that have the same variable. So we're going to put those together to give us -10x. And then I've got a +6 and a +32 that I'm also going to put together, which is going to give me +38. So that would be my second step there, is to combine like terms. And at this point, there's really nothing else I can do at this point. There's nothing to combine or multiply or anything. So this is my simplest form. Ta-da!